Hi, how's it going?
Good.
I'm Trent. Good. So, you want to stand or sit?
Sit would be
Okay,
good.
great. Let's stand. Tell you what.
Okay.
Well, no, we'll sit. Okay. What was your name? I'm sorry.
Charity.
Charity.
Yes.
Charity.
Mistakes that ruin a good first impression instantly. Why do people fail to make a good first impression? You might blame nerves, lack of focus, or shyness. But there's a good chance there's another culprit: terrible tactics. You only get one brief chance to make a good first impression, about 2 seconds, actually. It's because, like it or not, human beings make snap judgments about the people they meet for the first time. This is an area of my life I struggle with so much. I've been shy and introverted for as long as I can remember. Ever since school days, because of the bullying that I experienced. These 5 mistakes I was making, in terms of first impressions, were holding me back for many years. That's why I want you to pay close attention, because this will be the big leverage you need to get yourself up to that next level. Do you feel like you often make a bad first impression on people you meet? They don't seem interested in you? They don't listen to what you say? Maybe they don't meet your eyes or smile at you. These experiences are mainly connected to you. Usually people reflect what they are seeing in you, and what they do is a mirror of what you are doing. In today's video, I'm going to share you the 5 deadly mistakes you're making when it comes to first impressions. These may be killing your success right now, so pay close attention. Number 1. Weak handshake. Limp handshakes can be a real killer of the first impression. Research shows that people with a weak handshake are judged as being shy, anxious, less open, and lacking any ability. Think about a handshake like an investment. If you put just a little bit of money into something, you probably aren't that confident that it's going to do well in the future. So you're fine with just losing a small sum, but if you invest every dollar that you have, you're showing how much faith and confidence you have, and whatever you're investing in. Handshakes work the same way. When shaking someone's hand, you can't throw out a limp wrist or a 2-fingered handshake and expect the other person to feel confident about interacting with you. A weak handshake tells the other person that you don't care enough to firmly shake their hand, which means they won't bother investing the time and effort to get to know you. Number 2. No eye contact. Eye contact has its place in just about every social interaction, so it's no surprise that it plays an important role in making good first impressions. We've been taught since childhood to look people in the eye during conversations. But many of us forget that it's just like chewing food, there's a right and wrong way to do it. When meeting new people, our nerves tend to go into overdrive. We overthink and get embarrassed way more than we would with close friends, which can have a huge effect on our body language. Eye contact is usually one of the first things to fall by the wayside when we feel intimidated or insecure. It can be incredibly uncomfortable to maintain eye contact with another person. But by staring at the floor, the ceiling, just about anywhere else, you're making sure they know exactly how uncomfortable you are, and when you're uncomfortable, they are uncomfortable. Even if you're feeling nervous, use eye contact to let the other person know that you're present, attentive, and you want to continue interacting with them. Now, while it may be difficult at first, the longer the conversation goes on, the more natural it should feel. So whether you're the one talking or listening, follow these guidelines to making eye contact with anyone you meet. You keep your eyes up. Avoid looking anywhere below the person's neck, as this may lead them to think you're checking them out. You use different facial expressions. A blank face can make you come across as disinterested. Smile, nod your head, or do any small action that proves you're not a robot. You never stare. Staring can make the other person uncomfortable or distract them from what they're supposed to be saying or hearing. Look away for a quick second every now and then. This slight movement shows you're actively engaged in the conversation. Number 3. Smelling like crap and overusing cologne. Never underestimate body odor. For a lot of men, using deodorant is enough to counter it. But here's what surprises me more. Roughly 80% of men don't regularly use a fragrance. Why? It seems to be less about laziness or money concerns and more of a lack of knowledge, but do not overdo your cologne. Always stick to 1 to 2 light sprays per body part. It should target specific areas known as pulse points: the bare chest, back of the neck and ears, and wrists, without rubbing them together. Those parts have a strong blood flow in which heat releases the scent more quickly and intensifies it. Number 4. Weak body language. Did you know that your body language actually has an impact on hormonal levels, even if it's as simple as repositioning your arms or legs? As much we're unaware of it, certain poses can send positive signals to the brain and allow you to do things while being more relaxed and confident. Bad poses signal defensiveness or anxiety, since you tend to lean away from people or point your feet towards another direction. If you notice your shoulders slightly raised, your chin lowered down as if to cover the neck, or your hands clasped in front of you, those positions can send the wrong signals. Unlearn them immediately. Here are some great poses to master instead. Standing with your hands resting lightly on the hips and your legs spread, with the neck, chest, and stomach all uncovered. Sitting with your legs spread, feet flat on the ground, and palms face down on a table. Sitting with your legs crossed and hands tucked behind the head. Sitting with your feet propped up and hands tucked behind the head. Sitting with your legs slightly spread, chin raised, and chest puffed. Number 5. Saying nothing. Yes, it's a bad thing to be too quiet or reserved when meeting new people. Just saying hi. How are you? Is not enough. So always be prepared with some personal stories worth sharing. Make them emotionally appealing. Better if there's a happy ending. Make sure you have a variety of stories to tailor to different audiences, whether it's a young kid, a high schooler, a young professional, or a senior citizen. This helps a lot when you work with people for the first time. While you do want to be careful with your words in an office environment. So don't treat your workplace like a library or sacred temple. Always show enthusiasm. Be proactive in exchanging ideas with people you just met. Steer the conversation in a way that allows both parties to get to know each other. That's how you'll really stand out. Number 6. Playing with your hair. While women have been shown to touch their hair up to 18 times a day, playing with hair can send the wrong signal to the person you're seppuking with. While it's often used as a flirting technique, it can also indicate anxiety, low self-esteem, stress, and discomfort. Number 7. Invading personal space. You might be accidentally ruining your first impressions by sitting or standing too close. Physical space is the distance you make between you and the person you're speaking with. The distance between you and the person you've just met at a formal meeting should be about 4 to 12 feet. By encroaching on their space, you're making other people feel uncomfortable and anxious around you because they don't know you well enough to feel safe when you're sitting or standing so close. Even if you're just trying to be friendly, invading personal space can come off as aggressive, irritating, and inappropriate. Number 8. Humble bragging. Humble bragging is when you seem to be sincere and modest, but are actually just gloating about how
Well, I'll talk about transparency. I like transparency here, and I'm the most transparent president in history. And I'll tell you about what tampering is. Tampering is when a guy like Shifty Shift doesn't let us have lawyers. Tampering is when Schiff doesn't let us have witnesses.
These comments almost always fail because they seem like an attempt to prove how superior you are, which consequently makes the other person feel inferior. It's important to remember that the best first impressions leave both parties feeling secure about the other person and themselves. Imagine you just sat down at a coffee shop about to enjoy your favorite drink and listen to a podcast on your phone when a man at the table next to you strikes up a conversation. You've been trying to meet new people, so you give the guy a chance, but he won't stop talking about how busy and chaotic his life is. He goes on and on about how he's got a demanding job and how he's been forced to lead a team of designers for his company. Almost immediately you find yourself looking for a way out of the conversation. This guy made a common mistake that completely ruined his chances of making a good first impression. By talking about his busy job, he was doing something called a humble brag. Number 9. Forgetting names. When you meet someone for the very first time, the conversation often starts with the same tired ritual. You say something like, "Hi, I'm Peter." They respond with, "I'm Patrick, nice to meet you," and you habitually respond, "Nice to meet you too." We all give a lot of importance to our own name. So it does sting a bit when you encounter people who are so quick to forget it. Or worse, people who call you by the wrong name. Use these tips and techniques to remember people's names when you first meet them. Repeat the name right after they introduce themselves. Make it fit naturally into your sentence, like, "Nice to meet you, Bill," or "How long have you been in Microsoft, Bill?" Spell out the name in your head. It helps to get a mental picture together with the sound you hear. If that person gives their business card, glance at it while you're having a chat. Try associating the name with a similar sounding word that's sort of relevant to that person. Number 10. Bad attire. Statistics says that 55% of the first impression is based on your appearance. Some studies show that your appearance, height, weight, hair color, and amount of makeup can influence the size of your paycheck. If you meet somebody for the first time, try to be conservative and neutral in your choice of clothing, be polished, and don't use heavy perfume. Do you recognize yourself in any of those descriptions? Which of these points would ruin your opinion about a person with no hopes of improvement? Which points should be added to this list? Share your opinions and experiences in the comments section below. Thanks for watching. Kindly like, share and subscribe for more life hacks.